Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Home Built Workshop. I'm Jeff Baker. The other day a coworker and I were laughing at the fact that we each have offices at our work, but neither one of us ever gets to spend any time in there because we're so busy out on the floor, that we commented that it was really only a place for us to hang our coats. I got to thinking about it. I don't even have a place in there to hang my coat, so I can't even use it for that. So today, I'm going to build an easy coat rack that we can each use in our offices. I'm going to build these coat racks to hang over a cubicle partition. And I'm going to build them out of pine. But this isn't just regular pine, this is beetle kill pine. For those of you that aren't familiar with the pine beetle, it's wreaking havoc on the pine trees here in Colorado. One characteristic of beetle kill pine is the cool color that it kind of turns the wood. It kind of turns it kind of a bluish, greenish, gray color. I've been salvaging these boards from pallets for the past few weeks because I think it would make a cool project. So I've picked out some boards here that I'm going to use for this project. I think they'll work really well. I've also got quite a lot of these shaker pegs. I'm going to use those too. I'll start out by trimming these down to length on my crosscut sled. I'm going to rip down some thin strips on the table saw and glue them up to make my 8-inch wide boards. Now I'll glue up my wide boards just using some wood glue. I'll keep everything even on the ends using a couple of little clamps. You know you've got enough glue on the joint when you've got just a little bit of glue squeeze out the entire length of the board. You don't want piles and piles of glue squeezing out, but you don't want it dry either. That's about the perfect amount. So while the glue is drying, I thought I'd talk a minute about the design of this. My coworker and I both play guitar, so I thought it would be kind of cool to make this in the shape of a guitar. So I took the Fender Telecaster design and I've scaled it to fit this project. It's going to be in a U shape and it's going to hang over a cubicle. So one half of the guitar will be here, the other half will be here, and we'll each have half of it on our side of the cubicle. Now that the glue's dried, I'll take it out of the clamps. I'll clean up the little bit of glue squeeze out with a rasp. I'm going to use just regular spray glue to stick the cutting template onto the wood. And with the piece clamped down, I'll just cut it out with my jigsaw. Before I peel the template off, I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes for the shaker pegs with a Forstner bit. I've already got them marked out on the paper template. It'll make it a lot easier to do it now. Now I'm going to temporarily assemble this with a couple clamps. I need to do some shaping up here around where the neck would be on a guitar, just to make that center piece match a little better. Now you can kind of get the idea of how this is going to look. And it's this area right here I need to shape. Need to trim that and file it down and make it fit a little bit cleaner than just a big chunky mess. I'm just going to kind of draw a line and I'll shape that top part first. I'm just kind of doing it by eye and I'm going to just take my time, go a little bit slow, figure out how to make it all fit. And I'll just use the jigsaw here just to make that curve. I think the rest of the shaping I'll have to do by hand. A few minutes with a rasp will smooth out all these corners and make everything come together. Before I glue this up, I'm just going to sand it real quick with the random orbit sander. I'll do a little final sanding once it's all glued up. I'll clean up the edges with my homemade spindle sander. I'm going to go ahead and glue the shaker pegs in now. I think it'll be easier to do it now before the thing is completely assembled. I'll have less chance of damaging something. Just a little bit of glue on the peg and in the hole, and drive them home. I'll clean up any squeeze out with a damp cloth. It's really important to clean up the squeeze out, especially on an area that's going to be hard to sand any excess glue off. Now I'll glue the whole thing together. I'm checking the spacing on the top to make sure that it doesn't bow in. I've just got this tape measure jammed in there to kind of hold everything in place. Seems to be about the right width. That's perfect. Now that the glue's dry, I'll fine tune these edges with a rasp and a file. And I'll break the sharp edges with some sandpaper. Now I'll just wipe it down with a clean rag so we can get a finish on it. For the finish, I'm just using good old spray-on polyurethane. Couple of coats, and we're good to go. So after letting the poly dry overnight, I took the coat rack to work with me, and it fit perfect. So now at least our offices will be a good spot to hang our coats. I hope you enjoyed this project, and maybe it gives you some ideas and some inspiration on building something like this for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any other projects coming up. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Facebook, and you can send me an email. I'd like to hear any ideas and thoughts you might have. So until next time, thanks for watching. I'm always losing that glue on the floor. I just wanted to get the ideas flowing and show you kind of what's going on.